I'm gonna say it because I don't think anyone else will. And this is the best Final Fantasy game they've ever made. This this is my initial review of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, by the way, and that's how I'm starting it out. Like, I don't know what to say. It is actually the best Final Fantasy game that I have ever played. If anyone asks me and I don't say it's Rebirth, something's wrong with me. Like, that's how, I do not say this lightly. I've played every single Final Fantasy game, and some of them are phenomenal. A lot of them are very good. This is so far above everything else in my eyes. Like, I'm like almost emotional, like, thinking about it. That's what this game has done to me. It's ruined me. Okay, but after that intro, I just want to say all of the footage will be from trailers and the demo mission, or actually the first chapter, because I never played the demo, so no need to worry about there. And I won't be talking about any of the bits for that are in the game. I want you to experience them for yourselves, even though the story is a retelling or a reimagination. It doesn't matter. But back to my bit. This is the best game. I honestly, this might be my favorite game of all time. I am a Final Fantasy VII fanboy. I'll always be a fanboy, but even regardless of that, I think it's in recent memory, it is the most fun I've had playing a video game that I can remember. I've been playing games since I was 6. It's been 20 years. And this is, as far as I can recall, the most fun and most enjoyable game I've ever had. I flew back from a vacation to make sure I didn't miss the launch of the game, and I am so glad that I did. In the first 55 hours that the game was out, I put in 2 hours and beat the game. I am so sick right now too. Only thing I did in the time that it took me to beat the game was play the game and sleep. I slept as little as I possibly could in order to take in what this game is. I can't put it any other way. It's fun. It makes you feel things. It's everything that you want. It's peak Final Fantasy. It's peak video games. If you're not a Final Fantasy fan, I think you'd still enjoy the game. You might not enjoy it as much as someone who's played the franchise and is a fan of the franchise. And I even think you'll enjoy this game even more if you've played Remake. I don't think all the other stuff that goes along with it's mandatory, but if you play Remake, this is such a refreshing experience. Everything about it is good. The dialogue is fantastic. There's foreshadowing that, hey, you'll see about this in further chapters, but they don't say it like that. It's just foretelling an event, and you're like, oh my god, they totally foreshadowed this. And I don't know, the characters, they have so much more depth and personality, and they feel like people, and you can relate to them. And I've never had this experience with any game ever before. And I love these characters, and I played the OG, and there were characters that are oh, they're cool, but in Rebirth, they're amazing. Whoever's voice acted deserves awards, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. Every single character from the original, I was basically, oh, they're just a character in a game, and now they're so brought to life. It's just stunning how they were able to pull this off. It's one of the most, if not the most cinematic game I have ever played. It is beautiful. I played on graphics mode. I had maybe a countable on one hand number of issues with graphics mode. There was 3 instances in the entire game in 50 hours where performance chugged just a little bit. I don't think it's game hindering at all. Some people might disagree with me on that, but I've never been a huge graphics guy, and these were some of the best and visually appealing games that I've played. And the open world, I'll get to the story in a little bit, but I think the open world is a very refreshing touch. They made the open world aspects and the fetch quest, and I'm gonna go run around and collect all of these things. They made it fun and interactive, and not just hey, I need to collect all of these things in order to like collect 60 feathers in Paris to go unlock a single outfit in Assassin's Creed. I actually don't even know, but I'm just like, it's not like that. It's like you climb this tower and you unlock the challenge to get a materia, and if you climb enough of them, you get an outfit or you get another materia, or everything is useful. That's basically the best way to play it. And they made them fun and not just a thing to do. There's meaning behind it, and they put dialogue in the side quest, and some of the side quests are just as good as the main story quest. And speaking of the main story and the open world quest, I just want to say how beautiful it is done. It is a linear open world game, and I say that for two reasons. Basically, you get aspects of where the world is opened up to you, and you're able to explore freely, and you can do side quests, you can grind materia levels, you can grind weapon levels, you can go collect things, do boss battles, all those things that you want to see in an open world game. And then they have the story bit, and there's a wonderful mix between the two of when it's time to do the story, the open world goes away and you can't get distracted by it. So there's the only thing to do is the story. And then it's paced so wonderfully where it's not like, oh my God, I have to do 9 more hours before it's open world. It's, oh, the open world's back up again. I can continue the story if I want, or I can go explore the world. Or I can just do the story very linearly and still don't feel like I have to explore every nook and cranny. I mean, I didn't really do that much exploring. I kind of just ran from destination to destination, but there's plenty of times where you get into a story and like, this is the only thing you can do right now. You don't have to worry about everything else that's out there, but don't worry, it'll be back soon. And it's just a wonderful mix of that. And I'm going to go back to the pacing for a second, because there's 2 types of pacing. The pacing between the linear parts of the story and the open world parts, but then there's also the pacing in the game story and how it's presented to you in such a way that there's a lot of deep and heavy moments, good and bad. They're not all bad, and there's heartwarming moments, there's gut-wrenching moments, there's heartbreaking moments, there's all of that. But the game is paced so well that it gives you a chance to breathe after that happens. It's not like I had the most gut-wrenching moment of my life or the most heartwarming moment of my life, and then I'm thrown instantly into a boss battle. Or the other way around, where like, oh, this really sad moment happened, and then I have to go do 4 more hours of story before and it's deep and constantly like pounding at you. There's none of that. They give you the moments in such a way that it's not overbearing and it's not overpowering, and it doesn't take away. It actually adds to what the game is. Like, I cannot stress that enough, because this game, I don't think I've ever been so emotional over a game. Actually, I know I've never been so emotional over a game. It made me feel things. I don't feel anything ever, and like I want to feel a lot. This game made me feel something. I think you could tell by my voice that either 1, I'm sick, or 2, I'm very passionate about that. And this is the first time in my life where I actually have played a Final Fantasy on release and thought, you know, this could actually be a Game of the Year contender. And I don't say this lightly when I say things like this, but like, this should go down as the best Final Fantasy game ever. This could also go down as one of the best RPGs ever. Like, and I actually mean that. I, like, other than maybe Skyrim that I played when I was like 13, I can't think of a game where I beat the game. I did everything I wanted, and I still want to play it. Like, yes, I have all the optional objectives and hard mode left to do, but that's like, those are not things that you have to do. I feel like I have to play Rebirth right now. Like, there's not another game on my mind that makes me want to do anything else other than play Rebirth. I might just play through it again. Like, that's how, like, compelled I am or how drawn into this game. I knew the story going in, and I still want to experience it, and I want every game to be of the quality of this game. There's no compromise in it. It's just peak video games. They accomplished exactly what they were trying to do. And I hope that gives you an idea. I hate giving people expectations of what they think a game is. And if I tell everyone this is the best game ever and they disagree with me, well, that's fine. These are just my thoughts. But it feels like classic Square Enix again. And that's been missing for a long time. And it's been a few Final Fantasies since that's happened. And like, if you had one word to describe it, the magic's back. Like, it's back, and it's in full force. Like, that's all I can say. So you can enjoy my initial review. I'll be working on a full comprehensive review and breakdown of the game at another time. But until then, have a great day.